Party civil war is upon us. Impeachment and socialism tearing them apart from the inside. So can Nancy Pelosi hold it all together, or will the president exploit this new weakness and skate to an easy re-election victory? It's been only 2 months since Pelosi and Democrats retook control of the House. And in that short time, the rank and file have split over these two divisive issues. First, the hysteria over impeachment. Texas Congressman Al Green once again filing articles of impeachment against the president because it's Tuesday.
I do not believe that an unfit president should be allowed to stay in office.
That's fine. Now, last time he had the support of more than 6 fellow Democrats, but House Speaker Pelosi now says impeachment is not in the cards. She took that option off the table. House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer says the issue is just a distraction, but the big shots in the party still risking mutiny from some of those freshman upstarts, among them Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Rashida Tlaib. And surprise, surprise, AOC is also one of the leaders of the faction giving Pelosi a headache over socialism. She's the main lawmaker pushing the so-called Green New Deal, as you know, a plan to completely remake and destroy the U.S. economy. But this past weekend, AOC showed just how little she understands about basic economics.
Capitalism to me, it's an ideology of capital. It puts capital, the most important thing is the concentration of capital, and it means that we seek and prioritize profit and the accumulation of money above all else, and we seek it at any human and environmental cost. That is what that means. And to me, that ideology is not sustainable and cannot be redeemed.
That's what that means. Words, yeah?
All right, Pelosi has dismissed the Green New Deal, the Green Dream, as a non-starter, but make no mistake, the party is drifting leftward, whether she likes it or not. And if all that is about enough, Democrats also forced to defend their stance on anti-Semitism. The sensible Democrats can thank Ilhan Omar for that fiasco after she suggested Jewish lawmakers have a dual allegiance to Israel, among other statements she's made, an accusation lawmakers vehemently deny. So is the Donkey Party splitting apart at the seams like a Tijuana nightclub? And how might President Trump use that to maintain the Oval Office? With me now, Strategic Communications Director for the President's 2020 campaign, Mark Lauder, is back. Welcome back, Mark.
Oh, thanks for having me, Kennedy.
So Rahm Emanuel, mayor of Chicago, right-hand man to Presidents Obama and Clinton, he says that the Democrats are going way too far left, and that is a gift to the president. Do you agree with that statement?
Well, I don't think it's a gift. I think it's reality. And I think that the American people are going to have a choice in 2020 between President Trump, the economic success we have seen under President Trump, the investment in our priorities, the defense of freedom and capitalism, versus a party that has gone so far left that even Democrats now see that the Democrat Party's gone, that the party of your father, your grandfather, it's not there anymore. It's a party of socialism.
No, I would tend to agree with you there. I don't think it's just one party, and I don't think these competing ideologies can stay in the same place for very long, because there is going to be a split, and it's going to depend on who the nominee is, because right now the two frontrunners seem to be Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders, that fresh young blood. And whoever emerges victorious in the Democrat nomination process, they're going to say a lot about the identity of the party. And I know Democrats really tried to heal the rift from 2016, and it just goes to show they haven't done a good job, because, hours after Nancy Pelosi makes that statement about impeachment is not on the table, it's too divisive, you have people like Al Green and AOC completely bucking that statement, saying, no, we're still good with impeachment.
No, absolutely. And then you have billionaire liberal donors that are out there angry that the Democrat Party is not following that path. But to show you exactly how far out of sorts they've gotten, the AFL-CIO published a letter saying we will not tolerate the Green Deal because it's going to impact millions of their hardworking blue-collar Americans and their families. They're losing labor. Now, they've already lost the people, the workers, but the labor leaders are now following suit. I mean, it just shows you how far left they have gone. And I think many Democrats, many blue-collar Americans who may have been middle of the road, maybe even slightly left of center, have to look at the economic results, more money in their paychecks, manufacturing jobs coming back, against a party that says we want to eliminate your health insurance. We want to pay money to people who don't even want to work.
Yeah, we want to eliminate the choice you have in health insurance, and we want to eliminate entire sectors of the economy that happen to employ a lot of union labor, like the airline industry.
Airline industry, automobile industry. My goodness, we actually have auto jobs.
The cow farting industry, Mark.
Okay, well, I'm not sure about that one, but I do love cows. They're delicious. But
well, union loyalists love beef. They always have.
Absolutely.
And they're not going to listen to Cory Booker and AOC on these matters. But let's talk a little bit about Al Green and the articles of impeachment. It's just different ways of going about the same thing. Because I think you have Jerry Nadler and Adam Schiff who think that they're making a more nuanced argument for the same thing. And they may not use the term impeachment, but what they're really trying to do is harm the president so much that he is rendered unelectable.
And what they're really trying to do is criminalize political differences. And that's just not the way our country works. And they've tried over and over again with countless investigations, with the never-ending witch hunt, still not showing anything, no results for it.
Do you think Nancy Pelosi knows what the results of the Mueller report are, and that's why she is trying to soften the blow by curtailing impeachment talk?
I don't know if she knows the results of the investigation. What I probably think is that she knows the results of polling. Yeah. And because if you notice, as soon as they pivoted away from no impeachment, they started talking about other things that tried to carry the day in 2016. And so my guess is, and this is strictly a guess, it's not about the evidence because there isn't any. It's about polling. And because most Americans don't believe in the impeachment process, they believe in our constitutional way of electing our president, our vice president, and no amount of whining and investigation is going to overturn that.
Swing states in the Rust Belt, rather, are responsible for putting this president in the White House. And it seems like a far-left, super socialistic message is not going to resonate with those voters. But some of the more moderate Democrats who won House races in purple districts, they tapped into economic messages that those voters responded to. When do you think the party is going to wake up and realize that, or do you hope they remain asleep?
I don't actually think they can reverse this trend because you have such an angry base out there of supporters, whether they're donors, the people who go and knock on doors, and for all of those new incoming freshmen that won in those suburban districts, many of those districts that the president won in 2016, they're now going to find themselves in a very difficult position having to defend their colleagues in the Democratic side on socialism, Green New Deals, free Medicare for all, free everything for everyone with no way to pay for it. It's going to be a very difficult position for them because President Trump will also be on the ballot.
We've got this breaking news. We are just getting this video in from federal court in Boston, where Edge College and Career Network Chief Rick Singer, there's his picture, has pled guilty to running the college admissions so-called Ivy League bribery scheme. Federal authorities, though, at this very hour are on the hunt, armed with an arrest warrant for Full House actress Lori Loughlin. She's among 50 wealthy parents swept up and indicted in a massive sting operation. They're calling it this Ivy League scandal. It is sending shockwaves across the country. Entitled parents, including Hollywood A-listers accused of bribery to get their kids into some of the most elite colleges in the country. Loughlin's not the only bold-faced name among the accused. In the past couple of hours, Felicity Huffman, perhaps best known for for her role in Desperate Housewives, was arrested by police, apparently without incident. A total of 14 others are in custody. Again, all told, 50 people listed in this 200-page complaint. Now, regarding Lori Loughlin, she was not home when police came knocking. A hunt is still on for the Full House actress. She and her husband are facing felony charges for conspiracy to commit mail fraud and honest services mail fraud, as it's called. Just some of the colleges involved here: Georgetown, USC, Stanford, UCLA, University of Texas. Reports say that Yale is also involved, with 9 college coaches who were bribed to accept students who weren't even athletes. In this report, which I have read, the son of private equity executive William McGlashan, who was wiretapped in a conversation with a cooperating witness, said the following: CW for cooperating witness, "You got an NFL punter." McGlashan: I did. That's just totally hilarious. The school that the kid goes to doesn't even have a football team. So I'm going to make him a kicker. I will Photoshop him onto a real kicker's face. A boy I had last year, he wrote, I made him a long snapper. McGlashan, I love it. That is so funny. And just remind me again, quote, we get all these done, an obvious deal you and I talked about, $50,000 to $200,000. And then do we know he's in? And the cooperating witness who just got arrested, Mr. Singer, says, yes. This was for University of Southern California. This story is quickly developing. Christina Partsenevelis is in the newsroom with the breaking news. Christina, unbelievable.
It is unbelievable because you have 33 parents, and I guess all you really need is a little bit of money and Photoshop skills, because that's exactly what some of these parents had this company do. Literally take photo stock pictures of people running in a field and then cutting their child's face and sticking it on those stock photos. That's an example that you just mentioned. To go back to some of the more famous people, you have Felicity Huffman, who was actually arrested, and that's because they gave $15,000 so that their daughter could receive extra time when writing the SAT. All they had to do was bring in a doctor's note saying that she had a learning disability. And then when you're talking about Lori Loughlin, her husband is also involved. He's the founder of Massimo Clothing. So there's a lot of business leaders involved. You have, like you mentioned, executives of global PE firms, lawyers. There was 9 athletic coaches that were arrested, 33 parents in total. This has been going on since 2011. It involved 200 agents over a 10-month period. And if we're talking about just how this has become the largest college admission scandal in history, these wealthy parents paid up to the tune of $25 million to a firm called Edge College and Career Network, also known to all of them as The Key. And it was run, like you mentioned, by Rick Singer, who has now been arrested. And what they would do is they would have somebody go into the SAT, ACT room, write the exam, or they would have the student write the exam, and then there'd be a paid proctor that would change the results. In that 200-page document that you mentioned, Liz, there's on one of the pages there, if you want to get your student score between a certain margin, you say, oh, I want this score, and they're like, oh, we'll guarantee it. And so that's exactly what you're seeing. People spending $15,000, $65,000, all in all to the tune of $25 million to charitable accounts. So far, all the schools, there's no indication of any wrongdoing, but they're all doing their own internal investigations. Back to you.
Gregory Abbott, who's a founder and chairman of a packaging company, so a lot of business people here. Actually, his daughter, somebody else took the test for her. She got an 800 on the math subject test, and the person taking it for her, of course, 710 on literature. It's unbelievable. So every kid who was accepted cheating, that leaves a kid who deserved it.
Of course, especially those athletic scholarships, too.
Horrible, horrible. Christina, thank you very much.